Hello there, Michelle here, and I'm back guest designing for My Favourite Things. For my card today I'm using this beautiful stamp set. This is called The Thankful Friend. And I'm going to be stamping it onto some brown paper bag cardstock, also from MFT. So I'm just inking up the little girl here with some black licorice hybrid ink. Just inking her up really well, and then I'm going to stamp her down onto the panel. Just lining that piece of cardstock up and then stamping her down. I want to add a couple of leaves by her foot, so I've stamped her onto some masking paper. I'm just removing the backing here, and then I'm going to place that down, and then the leaves that I'm going to stamp are going to look like they're behind her. Here I have two of the leaves that are in the set, and they come with like a stem for the actual leaf, but for this design in particular I didn't really want that stem, so I'm just using some post-it tape just to mask off that area, and then when I ink it up that area won't obviously have ink on it. So again I'm going to ink them up with the black licorice hybrid ink, and then I remove the masking paper and then I can stamp that down. Then I'm removing that masking paper, and then I want another leaf to be behind that other leaf, so I'm going to mask that off as well. So I've made a couple of little masks. I've just added them onto a little acrylic block here just because they're very small and I don't want them to get lost. So just adding that onto the leaf here, and then I'm going to stamp the other one and do the exact same thing. Because it's got a little stem on it, I don't want that, so masking that off with a little post-it tape, inking that up, removing the post-it tape, and then I'm going to stamp that down. I do usually try and save any masks that I make, but these ones are so tiny and they kind of get a little bit crumpled up as I'm taking them off, so I'm just throwing these ones away. And then I've added a few more leaves where the rake is, so like underneath the rake. And here I'm working on the sentiment. This is the Sending Thankful Thoughts sentiment from the set, and I want to kind of stamp the portions separately, so I've again masked it off with a little bit of post-it tape, and then I'm going to stamp the Sending Thankful at the top. I've cleaned off my stamp, and then I'm masking it off again, and then this time I'm just going to stamp the thoughts part of the sentiment. So again I'm using that black licorice hybrid ink, and I'm just going to stamp that down. I'm going to be using coloured pencils to colour in my image today. These are Derwent Coloursoft pencils, and I'm not pressing that hard onto this cardstock here because I want some of the kind of Kraft colour to show through. I think that's quite nice when using Kraft cardstock. So I'm going in with a light hand, using a couple of shades for each of the different portions of the image. I am going to speed this portion up because it is going to take a little while and I don't want you to get bored, so I'm going to speed this portion up and play a little bit of music. As you can see, once you've coloured in the image with coloured pencils, you do lose some of the lines of the actual stamped image. So I'm just using a 0.3 Copic multi-liner and just going over the whole thing. I'm just taking my time here and then, like I said, going over the whole of the image. And as you can see, it makes quite a big difference. Next, I'm adhering the panel to a white card base, and this is an A2 white card base. I'm just going to add some adhesive onto the back of the panel. I'm adding quite a bit because I do like to make sure that it's stuck down very well. And then I have a bit of foam sheet here, and I'm just going to stick that on the back, and it just gives a little bit of extra dimension. And again, I'm going to add some tape onto the back of that. And then I'm just going to add that onto the card base. And as a last finishing touch, I'm just going to add a little bit of clear wink of Stella onto her hat, just to add a little bit of shine and sparkle. And that's the card finished for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching. A big thank you to My Favourite Things for having me guest design. Links to the products that I've used will be in the description bar on YouTube and also on my blog. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.